And we are live. Day 80. 20 more days to go and 100 days will be behind us. And then we'll do another 100 days. And thereafter another 100. And we'll just keep going. For as long as we can. Sure, there will come a time where I won't physically be able to, but until that time comes, we'll make the best of it. Alrighty, so we're back with this little beauty of mine. Still haven't figured out why it can't call the log the first time it's launched, which it should be able to. It can set the values, but it won't display them. I think I need to open up a Stack Overflow for this. Try to figure out what's going on. But I mean, it's not critical. Everything's working as it should. We just don't see the logs in the beginning. I want to flesh this out a bit today. I want to be able to see the break length. I want to see the session length. And all that jazz. So we got start and stop functionality going. We got reset functionality going. Open up VS Code as well. So what do we do? What's the first thing I want to do today? We start visualizing everything? I got the functionality going. The start and stop works. Stop. Start. Timer continues. Reset. Stops everything. It's obviously all just in the logs right now. There's nothing visibly being shown here. So I think the next thing we should do is translate the logs into actual display calls and update them from there. I think that would be the best option. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm happy with that. Start and stop works. Let's just double check. Yeah, so the timer goes down. You can see that. 1.5, 1.4, whatever. So we start on 1.5 because it's 15 minutes times 60 to get the amount in seconds. That's 1,500 seconds. We got our default break length. We got our session length. If we stop the timer, it will stop it. So we stopped at 1.480. Give it a few seconds, let's make sure it's not actually running in the background, which it shouldn't be. If I resume, we should go back to 1479. Yep, there we go. Okay, so that is working. And if I stop it and reset it, that also works fine. Timer running is false. We start it up again, it's true. Yeah, it's pretty much working. Look at that. Okay, let's make it prettier now. I want to actually visualize it and see it. Let's go look at our layout. Oh, wait, still got a running reset. Stop it. Cool. So our layout is very simple. We got our label, so break length, but we have nothing in break length. So we should start displaying how long the break length is going to be. One option that we need to do. Okay, I need to check something else while we add it. If the timer reaches 0, what happens if the timer reaches 0? I don't think we've done anything with that. So let us update seconds. Instead of it being session length times 60, we're gonna make it 5 seconds. We just gotta remember to undo that, because I want to see what happens after that time. I think it's gonna go into the negative. Once it reaches 0, we need to make sure we stop it. So let's have this as a comment here, and then update our state. Dollar Dreams, hey, how's it going? How you doing? Okay, so we got 5 seconds now. Let's see what happens. It's gonna start on 5, 4, 3, 2. It should go negative because we've done no checks. Yeah, there you go. So it's just going to keep decrementing in the negatives, and we don't want that, obviously. So the next bit of logic that we need is to detect when it reaches 0 and to stop our timer. Because if we don't do that, bad stuff's going to happen. So if it's not running, start the timer with the pre-allocated seconds, update the timer. I guess, where could we do the check? We could do the check inside of update time, because that runs every second. Either that, or we can actually have a check in here. Yeah, I think we should have a check in here. I'm going to combine this if right here. If this.status seconds is equal to undefined, we need to actually only do this once. I'm good, what about you? Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm pretty excited for this project. It's something interesting to be able to visualize requirements that need to be done and then actually make them happen. I'm just trying to figure out the best logic and flow that I can have this. We need to check if the seconds is undefined. That means when we first start the application, there are no seconds. And this is obviously when you start the timer. So you hit the timer button. If the seconds are undefined, we can update the seconds. So that's technically a once-off thing. Please create playlists of your videos, like algorithms will be one playlist and clock will create another. Oh, you mean like just group my videos? So all the things that are the same? Yeah, I could do that. Actually, I wanted to do that, I just never had the chance to go back and change these things. Yeah, I'll definitely do that, Dollar Dreams. They are in order. They are numbered, obviously 1, 2, 3, but I know like trying to go back and find them is a bit of a mish. So I'll definitely do that. I'll definitely create playlists. Easy enough to do. Are you also like following through? Doing your own stuff as well? Sorry, like most of the stuff I'm not doing for educational purposes. So if people try to follow me, I take hours sometimes. So I'm mainly doing it to obviously document my own journey. And if people happen to be on and they want to see it, but At some point, yeah, I'll definitely do some tutorials that are way shorter and like cover the basics of whatever it is that you're working on. I didn't expect anyone would be following along and trying to see what I'm doing. Because I did an 8-hour video once, so I was just polishing up one of my projects. Okay, so we said if the timer is initialized and the timer is not running, then update the seconds. So that's going to happen. Then we need another check, which is if, so long as our seconds, so if this.state.seconds is greater than 0, so if it's greater than 0, as in we have at least 1 second, then we can run the function one more time. Else, if it's not greater than 0, meaning we've hit 0, then we need to stop the timer from running. And I actually realized I already have an else here. What is this else tied to? What did I have it tied to previously? Hold on, let me just go back so I could see what this was tied to. So this was tied to if it's not running. Okay, right. I get what I was doing. So that's to stop the timer if we hit the stop button. Okay. Then we need an else here that will also stop the... how do we do this? I need to do it in one. I don't want duplication, because it's basically going to be the exact same thing. Okay, what if I don't have an else here? I just have an if. That's that if. And then this else. So this is this if, this is this if. So as long as we have at least a second, we can update the time. Let's see what happens now. Let's just chuck this in and do a debug and see what's going on. Okay. You're addicted to JavaScript? I need to learn how to learn JavaScript. I'm a beginner. How to learn basic, advanced. Yeah, just check out Free Code Camp. They have the basic... drop your link in chat. There you go. Just check that out. They have the basics, they have the advanced and all that. That's pretty much what I followed through. And that should cover, you know, whatever it is that you might need. Okay, so we updated the code. Let's see what happens now. Start, get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so it keeps going because nothing stopped it yet. So nothing specifically stopped it. That's the issue. So in order for us to stop that, we need something like this. I don't want to write this code, but I'm gonna have to do this just temporarily to make sure that this is the functionality that we want. Where am I from? I'm from South Africa. Okay, so this should work now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, or maybe not. Hold up, what went wrong there? And am I working professional? I used to be a working professional. I used to be in the IT sector for 5 years. And then I just decided I wanted to change. So now I'm a glorified full-time student. I have clients on the side that I help here and there to keep things going, but other than that, yeah, I'm mainly just really enjoying the student life at 26. Okay, so what went wrong here? If this.state.seconds is greater than 0, so if it's greater than 0, we will run a timer. Okay. Else, clear the interval. So if it's not greater than 0, clear the interval and set the running state to false. Let's have a debug message for ourselves. We are here! I love to have little debug messages. It's like so critical when you're designing things and you have no idea what's going on. Leave yourself little messages. So if we get that message, we know we at least got to that part, so it was running, but something else happened. Okay, so here's the problem. We never got to that part. We didn't get the debug message, we never got there, we didn't pass go, we don't collect 200. So at least we figured out what the problem is. Now we got to figure out why. We know that it's not getting here, but why is it not getting here? Oh, that's great. May I know your good name? My good name? What's that? Okay, so something else is going here. If this.state.seconds is greater than 0, we are updating from seconds, aren't we? Update time, this.state.seconds minus equal to 1. So that will take 1 away every time. If it's greater than 0. It should have failed though. The moment it got to 0 or minus 1, it should have just... So how is it still running? My mind. Oh, you asked my name? My name's Philip. If I'm not mistaken, we should keep getting this got here message. So let's just check. No, sorry, forward. Okay, so got... haha! Hey! So I found the problem out. We only get that message once. Okay. Interesting. I think this is to do with the way... Why is it only called once though? Interesting. Oh, you want to know something? This only happens every time you click the button. If I click the button every time... Hold on. If we click the button every time, we'll get that message. There you go. See, we keep getting it. I see what's going on here. Okay. Okay. So... we can't have this check inside of here. Instead, we need it somewhere else. Well, actually, we can have one of these in here. I don't think we need this one. That one can go. What we do need though is inside of update time, we need a check, which is if this.state.seconds is greater than 0. Ah, my keyboard today. Then we will update state. So you said you didn't understand my name? It's Philip. Philip. Okay, so as long as seconds is greater than 0, then we can de-increment seconds. Else, meaning seconds is not greater than 0, we need to stop the timer. And hopefully we can do this by simply just clearing the interval. update the running state to false, and then throw a debug message. Hopefully that's all we'll need. Okay, let's see what happens. We're starting 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, 0, and it stopped! Would you look at that? The timer stopped, and it stopped running. It is now false. Hey! The functionality worked. Now let's make it look better, because right now it's awful. Instead of update time, what if we had check status? If this.status seconds greater than 0, we just de-increment. Okay, so this part is fine. This is not the issue. The part that I'm worried about is the amount of times that we do this thing. We're duplicating our code, and we don't want to be doing that. So clear interval. Do we have stop timer? We have reset timer. We don't have stop timer. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to create a new function called stop timer. And we're basically going to have this bit of code in there. So in stop timer, I'm just going to have that piece of code, clear interval, set the running state to false, and give us a debug message. Because then what that means is we can literally just call stop timer, and then anywhere we need to use that code, we just call stop timer. So much neater. Glenn, hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while. Dollar Dreams, do I follow cricket? Not really. I'm not that big into sports, to be honest. Esports maybe. Gaming, sure. I remember 2013, the Dota International. Was it 2014? One of those. Okay, so what do we have now? We have logic that dictates that if we have more than a single second, we can subtract a second from our state. Otherwise, we need to stop the timer. So let me make sure that works based on our function right now. I might have to zoom this in for you guys. It's quite small. So there we go. We start. You see our seconds remaining are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does it stop? Okay, we have an issue. Yep. Okay, here's my favorite part. So, when you're working with class structures, you need to always add this. And I keep forgetting to add this. Because this refers to itself. In this case, the Pomodoro. If I don't add this, you're going to get a reference error. Undefined, which is fun. The amount of times that still gets me. Okay, so let's start. 5, 4, 3, 2... Oh. Never mind, browser decided to reload. Let's do that again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it stopped. So the timer was running up until the very last second. Then we got an update. Timer running is false. So there we are. Seconds remaining 0. So it stops when it gets to 0 seconds, which is exactly what we wanted. Sorry, I don't have song requests enabled on this channel, Glenn. I think if I had to play anything other than calming music, imagine playing some heavy metal, trying to focus. Okay, so this .stop timer works. Now I also want to see if I can utilize it everywhere else that I call it, which is here. Oh wait, never mind. That was stop timer itself. Where is stop timer? Here. So clear interval. Do you see what I mean about duplicating code, guys? We have clear interval, we have this.setState running false, and we call this.debug. That's literally twice that we've called that. So instead of having the code duplication, we have it in a single method that we can then call once. So instead of having basically all these lines of code, I can just call this.stop timer. There we go. So our code becomes neater. There's a wonderful song about the this, really. About the actual this keyword. Okay, so let's see if it still works if I start and stop it manually. Yep, it works. And does it continue again? 3, 2, 1, perfect. Okay, that's working. May! Hey, you made it! Dollar Dreams on YouTube. After completing this project, please do a series on Angular. I haven't actually worked in Angular at all, so I'd have to see. I'm liking React though, but maybe, sure. I want to try all of the frameworks at least once. Okay, here's the fun stuff, guys. Some of you may not be following with the code, so let's actually visualize this code. Right now, we have a single strip of mess. We got break length, we got session length, we got session, and we got minutes, seconds with the stop and the start button. So you guys probably see nothing. I hit the start button and you're like, you know, if it weren't for this console log here, you guys would be seeing nothing. So let's change that so that we can actually see things on the screen right now, shall we? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we want to know how long the break length is. So here, where we got break length, we are going to add this dot state dot break length. And what we're referring to in state. So state is basically what's housing all of our variables that we're working with. And in there, we've got break length. And what I want to do is just display the break length each time something changes. So I'm just going to go put that in there. So that will show us the break length. Then in session length, we're going to do the same thing. This dot state dot session length. There we go. So that will show us break and session length. The other thing now is it's going to look hideous still because, I mean, you know, it's all in one line. So what we're going to do is stick it into a wrapper. I think I already have main here. Yeah, display flex. Great. Do we have a container for all of it? No, we don't. So main is going to be our container. So what we're going to do is we're going to add flex direction of column onto this so that they list underneath each other. Already much better, right? I think it's a bit better. Now it's not all in one line. We should probably add some padding between each one. But I mean, we can worry about the styling, you know, near the end. I want to get the functionality working. So right now there's nothing there. Also, this is what's currently happening. Session is what's currently happening right now. We still need to implement break. And we need to also update minutes, and second to actually show how much time is remaining. Am I going to do a series on custom? On custom what? Okay, so if I update this now, we should see... There we go. Break length of 5, session length of 25. Those are our defaults. It's working great so far. Now we need to get the timer working. So we need to update that. What's the easiest way to do that? Actually, hold on. This will be easy. We need minutes and seconds. I just realized. So we've got seconds in our state. Let's go ahead and add minutes. So minutes is going to be undefined. And seconds is obviously still undefined. Do we update minutes? No, we don't. We don't update seconds either. Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do is when we start the timer, here we're updating seconds. But we also need to update minutes as well. So we're going to go minutes. For now, I'm just going to stick like a random number. It's just going to be 1 minute and 5 seconds. And then we also need to... Actually, we're not going to have minutes. I mean, it's physically going to be there, but what I'm going to do is rather work everything off of seconds and then just divide seconds by 60 to get minutes. It's going to be easier to work that way. Okay, so where we update time, every second we need to also update here, where's seconds in our list. So seconds will be this dot state dot seconds. I think that should be enough. I might be wrong. This dot state dot minutes for minutes. Let's see what happens. So if I start... Oh, it's actually updating! No ways! That's fun. And let me zoom in a bit so you guys can see that. Okay. Framework. You made a comment about Angular a bit ago. Oh, right. Yeah. Someone on YouTube asked me if I would do a series on Angular 8. So I said I might give that a try. And Dollar Dreams on YouTube, how do we master in HTML and CSS and JavaScript? A lot of time and patience, I guess. There's no quick way. Like in life, people always tell you, do this and you'll get there fast. But if there's anything I could tell you, honestly, there is no fast way. Everyone learns on their own level, and that's okay. You know, take your time and you'll get there. Don't put a time limit. Don't give yourself, you know, you've got X amount of days and then you need to get there, because then you're just setting yourself up for failure. Take as long as you need, read up on the courses, and just build projects. Try not to read as much, try not to watch YouTube tutorials as much, you know, like look at them, view them, but then actually build something with what you've learned, because that's the only real way you're going to learn, you know. Okay, so there's two issues that I have here. One, there's no extra padded 0. So 5 is, you know, 5. There's no 0, 5, 0, 4, etc. I don't like that, so we're going to fix that. 2, I've done nothing with the minutes, obviously, but that's also fixable. I just want to think, what's the easiest way to do this? We could add a function. I think I have a function from my previous thing that I used, which was pad zeros. Here it is. So it takes the value, and then if the value is less than 2, it will return the value with a 0. But that's returning it as a string. I don't think it matters, does it? Okay, let's work this in. We're going to call it pad zeros. Let's go. May I make a recommendation? Absolutely. If you have a better way for me to do this, I'm all ears. I was just going to do something really quick and simple. Where do we stick this? Update time, maybe here, pad zeros. So I was going to take the value. This is super old, and I was just going to convert it to a string and then get the length of the string, and if it's less than 2, we return a 0 plus the string, that value. Otherwise, return the full string. But now I just realized we're updating state down here. We're directly updating state, so number to string, pad start 2. Oh, that work? So we can take that, so literally inside of here, I don't even need extra functions. To string, pad start. That's a nice, elegant solution if that ends up working, honestly. Let's give that a try. And then I'm gonna comment this out. Yeah, because otherwise I was literally gonna create a new state variable right now. Okay, this.state.seconds is undefined. Why? What did I mess up now? Should be this.state.seconds to string. That actually should be fine. Hold on, where am I getting that error? Undefined toString. Was that what I was saying? Oh, it was. There it is. Okay, but I tried to add the brackets around of it, but it wouldn't have any of those because in JSX it just strips them again. I don't think it's that. We didn't change seconds though. Because if I remove this extra function now, it should work fine. Unless I completely mess something up somewhere. Yeah, it works fine. So it's the addition that we just added right now. So May, in case you're wondering, we're building a Pomodoro clock. It's actually ironic to help you study and focus. You know what I can do actually? Before the return, Glenn. That's not gonna work. Is it? No, I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have a variable here. So const, what do we call it? We already have seconds. What do we call it? Actually, I think it can be called seconds. It doesn't clash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this, right? Because that will work. Then we can have the variable inside of this, and then we just call seconds. That should work. We get the same error though. Why? Oh, hold on. Now I should be able to put the brackets in, hopefully. It removes them. What? And you're sure about pad start, right? I want to see if it gives an error if I even just have seconds. The very first render will have the initial state, yeah. Which it should here. I should be able to call this .state.seconds. Which is very strange that it doesn't let me. Where seconds is undefined? Interesting. I'm wondering if I shouldn't just have a display value in my state. What do you think? Either that, or we then need to... The problem with an integer, though, is... Here, check. If we pass int 05, it's just going to output it as 5. And if we pass float 05, it's still going to be 5. It's never going to have the extra padding, you know what I mean? So, in theory, we're never going to be able to store this as a number, because the extra zeros are going to be stripped away. So we would have to output the value as a string. So we take the number, process it, add the extra zero if need be. So where can we do that? Here we're updating state. I could add an extra zero. Actually, I want to test something here. Do I get state now? Oh, I do. Interesting. Do you see that? So it does work outside of it. Okay. So seconds, this.state.seconds. Let me see if I can get display. And then I'm gonna log display and see what happens. Interesting. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. So why would 3 toString return undefined? Actually, no. We are trying to return seconds, not this.state. My bad. I think we might need a twofold here. I think that's what's going on. Why is it undefined every time? Because you haven't updated the state? Oh, you're right, because we're not waiting. I forgot about that. When you initially start, you're right, you're absolutely right. Render runs, that's what you're referring to. We actually need an if. If this.state.seconds is not equal to defined, undefined, then only can we do this. I forgot about that. What was it? toString.pad start 2. Is it 2? Why do we have a 0? Oh, because that's a string. Yeah. So as long as state is not undefined, then we can update seconds, and then we can display seconds. That should in theory work. Ah, I completely forgot about that. Why is seconds not defined now? It should be. If this.state.seconds is not equal to undefined, oh my god. The amount of gotchas that you get in this, right? Finally! Hey! Look at it. There we go. We got the padding. Brilliant. Now the only question is, can we do it better? Because having a bunch of if statements here in my render doesn't feel good. Do you think we should do a ternary inside of here? Something like this. Wait, can you do a ternary inside of return? I can't remember. Something like this.state.seconds not equal to undefined. Value if true, value if false. Something like that. Can we do that? I've never done a ternary before. What is that though? What is the I've never worked with that before. The it almost looks like an OR. What's with the OR and the 0? How does that work? Let's check if the ternary works though. Oh, the ternary actually does work. Okay. So that works. I think the ternary is a bit better than the if statements up there. What do you think? I mean, it's easier to maintain if it's up there. It is an OR. This.seconds is a falsie as it is undefined and it will use 0. Oh, right, because you're saying if true. I've never seen the logic like that. I still don't understand. So how's that working? This.state.seconds, so it's a falsie. does that work? There's no like, because that's not a ternary operator. Okay, try and define 0 in console. I've never, is there a name for that? Because I've never seen it used before. Oh, so how does that work? Is it like either undefined or 1? And if it's not undefined, it will give 1? How does that work? My mind! I see it working, I just don't understand it. And it's much neater than my ternary statement. So this that states at seconds. It will go through until it finds a non-falsy value. So this dot state dot seconds. Okay, so this dot state dot seconds. If it's not false, do toString. Otherwise 0. Oh, is the 0 there as in if there's nothing, just display 0? Is that what you mean? Which one is more wide common and like better to use? I'm thinking of in terms of other people viewing this as well. You think I should rather stick with the ternary? I mean, keep that in the back of my head as a good to have, but... And then minutes should literally be this dot state. It should be this dot state dot seconds times no, divided by 60. And then we can pass int, I think. I don't need a pass int, I think, actually. I could just leave it like that. I've seen both all the time. Okay, that's the first time I've seen that anyway. I like it though. That's not a number? 15 divided by 60. Is not a number. Oh, right, that issue again. I see what you mean. So undefined divided by 60. Yeah, I see what you mean. Same issue again as before. So to solve this, based on the logic that we had... So is this the check? Is this the logical check? We're looking for undefined. So if undefined is found... Or rather, whatever you want to enter, right? So this dot state dot seconds. If it's undefined, we're going to display 0. How does that work? So something like that, right? So this dot state dot seconds or 0 divided by 60. And 0 divided by 60 is 0. So it's either take this and divide it by 60. If that is false, take this and divide it by 60. Is that how I'm reading that? That is so much neater. Then why don't they show this? Why are we showing ternaries? Like we have ifs and then we have ternary operators. Why is this not shown? That is so nice. Wow, thank you. So there we go, 0. Oh my god, what is, oh my what just happened? What did I just see right now? How? Time in seconds, so 5 divided by 60? Oh, you know why? Because those were fractions. We need to pass int. So that doesn't happen. if anything is less than 0, if it's less than a minute, it should be 0. So pass ent will remove all the fractions. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay, now I want to see what happens if we add a minute and a second in. So for this to work, where's our, over here, we have, but seconds. Let's do 62 seconds. We don't care about minutes. I'm going to remove minutes now. Math.floor. You sure? Why is it 62? No, that's a bug. That worked, by the way. But that's bad. Hold on. How do we solve this? It can only ever show 59. How do we do that? I need to... Oh. I need another helper somewhere, don't I? For seconds... We need an internal tracker that calculates obviously how many seconds are left, but the problem is for the display it can only ever show as many seconds. I could probably do a check down here in our display, can't I? And I'm gonna switch this to the new thing that you showed me. That's so much better. Zero. Zero to string or state to seconds to string. That's so much better. And remove that obviously. Cool. Oh, modulo 60? That should technically work, right? Because we have seconds divided by 60, and then we can have... So let's first do that number modulus 60, and then let's get that as a result, and then toString that, in theory. See what happens. Yeah, that worked. Beautiful. Absolutely perfect. And you can see the seconds remaining. Because we still keep the seconds remaining internally to check how many are left. Do you agree with me though in terms of not adding minutes to state? And we literally just have a single value that we track. So seconds. And then if we need to display seconds, we can do what we just did now. Modulus 60. And then for minutes we just divide it by 60, because then that way we don't have, like, I don't know, it's better to just work on one value, isn't it? Where do I have minutes now? I had minutes somewhere. Find minutes. There it is. More needed complexity. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now I can bring this back, which is seconds will be this.state.session length times 60. However long the session length, which is in minutes, we're gonna times that by 60 to get the amount of seconds that we're gonna update state in. So then if the default was, I think, 25 minutes, we should see 25 now, and 1500 seconds. Let's see. So we go 0, 0, start, there you go, 25, 24, amazing. And you can see the seconds remaining here. Oh, look at that. You have really helped me today, Glenn, I really appreciate it. Because I would have had far more complexity using that, what do you call it now? The ternary operator. I mean, it still would have worked, it just would have been far more complex. Look how much shorter and neater this is. I love it. Is there a name for this though? If you had to like actually check it up. Because I know you could just Google ternary operator and you get what that is. Like, how would you describe this? The or? Because usually the or is in a conditional. You have an if statement and then you do if this or that. But there's no if here. It literally just starts with calling a variable. And I know how that works because the same way you can do in an if statement, right? You do if value. And then if that's a boolean or if it's a number that can evaluate to true, that will happen. Else if it's false, this will happen. Like that I get. But this is completely different. That's kind of evaluating it as a... Isn't it doing the same thing though? Evaluating it to a boolean? It's a logical or. Yeah, go for it. And by the way, the timer seems to be working perfectly. So I'm really happy with that. Logical or. Okay. Beautiful. So logical operators are described in the following table. The expressions may be of any type, not just boolean. Okay. So logical and? Oh, you can do it with ands as well? As well as logical ors or logical nots. Wow. Because I know about this. This is the crazy one that weirds me out. When you can do something like double negative on true makes it true, or 1 makes it false. So double false is false, but 1 false is true. You can like flip them. So it's like weird stuff. Okay, so what do we have? You said, so the logical or is the only one that keeps value? Oh. Oh, so the and doesn't. But here, apparently and does. It returns expression 2, else it returns expression 1. The not, the logical not returns nothing. But these two do. And or both return values. Examples of expressions that can be converted to false are null, not a number, 0, empty string, undefined. This is amazing. Thank you so much. It's like literally a game changer for me. I'm just going to have to make sure I don't get caught in the gotchas. So if A4 is equal to false, A4 is... Oh, so A4 will be true if false and 3 equal to 4. What is the false referring to? How do you read this if it's not an if statement? As in this is false, so if this is false it will return true? Because that's false and that's false. So if both are false, A4 will be false. What do you think? I have no idea. I've never seen the operator before, the title. It will be false? What does that do? Whoops. What? So it returns -1? What is that operator? Learning so many new things today. According. Wait, what? It's not here. There it is. Not. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's a bitwise operator. That's why. I haven't worked with bitwise operators at all. Wow. Okay, I have so much to go back on. I'm gonna stop here before my mind just explodes for today. Okay, so this is working. The next thing that needs to happen is when the timer is complete, the break needs to initiate. So let's go to our runtime, our user runtime, and see what we need to do. Okay, so I can see an element with ID of break label that contains a string break length. Do we have that? Yes, we do. 2. I can see an element with ID session label that contains a string session length. Do we have that? Yes, we do. I can see 2 clickable elements with corresponding IDs break decrement and break increment. Oh, we don't have those. Okay, so we need to increment and decrement the session length as well as the break length. Okay, let's go work on that. That will be easy. So this is actually going to be a button. Both of these are going to be buttons. This is going to be break increment. Later on we'll work on making them pretty. And this is going to be break decrement. And then session increment. Oh, come on. Waterfall. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, because it's not a button, that's why. And there, and there, and there, and there. Perfect. And this is going to be session decrement. Okay, so we got our buttons. We need to add event handlers to them. For increment... what's going to be the neatest way to do this? Okay, I've got it. We're going to have one. We're going to add one function. One function to handle those things, but what do we call it? I suck with naming things. I don't want to say handle change. Even though it is, it's not very specific. And I don't want to break it up. Handle break change, handle session change, because I mean, they're both going to do the same thing. Button click handler. I mean, why not? I might as well just do handle change then, if it's going to be that generic. Wait, handle change, and don't forget to bind it. This dot handle change equal to this dot handle change dot bind this. Okay, and in handle change we're gonna log event, and then we need to add a event handler for all of them. I can either do a for each, or I'm gonna have to do a for each, aren't I? There's not an easier way. So const, what do we call it? Breaks. It's breaks and session. I don't want to call it break session buttons, but is there a better name? Break session. Why not just do it in the JSX? You mean just... I guess, yeah, since there's only 4 of them, you're right. It might be a bit overkill for that. Especially because I would have to do a for each and it'll be way more complicated. You're right, so let's just do on click. What did I call it again? This dot handle change. Forget Fulisag. I was just naming it to do and give me name. That's perfect. You know, the majority of my code would remain the same and get nowhere. I just hate seeing this on click spammed everywhere. That's why I like event handlers. You do it once, and the thing is, I do global event handlers, so I add it to all the buttons. The problem is, for these, they need to be specific for these 4 buttons, and because we only have 4 buttons, we can get away with it, so it's fine. On click this dot handle change, perfect. So now we're gonna log. I just want to confirm that this will be fine. So I want to log the event. I also want to log the event.target. Actually, hold on. Event. Let's make this a bit neater. And event.target. Hold on. Event target. There we go. It's a bit neater. So let's first make sure that this is all good. Should be all good, but you know, it's best to test these things. Okay, so the button should be there. There we go. Break increment. So if I click that, we get the object, we get the target. That's correct. Break decrement, we get that. Session increment, we get that. Session decrement. Okay, perfect. The buttons are working. They look hideous. It's fine. You may want to log event. But I had a constant once called magic number because of the linter rules. Never mind. Yeah, I've never had to do that. React will never null them. They're very specific. So when you click on the button, you're gonna get something returned. So now we get the ID. So what needs to happen is when you click break increment, it needs to increase the break length. So I don't want to do an if, I don't want to do a switch. We need a more elegant solution. We've come a long way. Let's not succumb to bad standards now. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. If someone's got a better way, share it for me. But otherwise I'm doing this. I don't know what to call it, so I'm just gonna call it break session, and it just sounds like you want to break the session. It sounds bad. I know, okay? Don't judge me. It's gonna be an array, okay? And it's gonna be a list of objects. The first one is gonna be ID, and that's gonna have the ID of the button. Okay, so break increment, break decrement. That's what it's gonna be. So break increment, and then it's going to have the state that it's linked to, which is break length. Okay. And then we're going to have another one. It's going to be pretty much identical, and it's just going to be decrement. And then we're going to do the same for whatever, it's fine, just go. Another one. And that's going to be session length. And this is going to be, what was it? I think session increment and session decrement. And then we're going to do a for loop, and we're going to check if the ID is corresponding to the event target's ID. Then we know exactly what state it is because we just get the state. And then we increment or decrement state from there. I just can't think of a better name for break session. You want to use a for loop? No! ID index into object containing functions. I was actually joking. No, don't joke. We're not making jokes here. Do we have a better way of doing this? What's wrong with doing it this way? It's going to be perfectly fine. Trust me. You can trust me. Literally all we do is... What was it called? Break session dot for each. What is it now? It's a button? I don't even know what we were referring to anymore. That's bad. Then all we do is if button dot ID is equal to, or rather if event dot target dot ID matches the button ID, then we can... Would you not... Breathe, Clint! Make an object, right, where the keys are the element IDs and the value is a function that needs to be called. That is how you would do it. It's almost similar in concept. Let me show you what I wanted to do and then we can compare. But that's essentially almost what I've done. I just have state here, because then I can call this dot set state and then we can pass in whatever it is. So the key that we're going to be passing in is button.state. That's going to be the state, and then the value. Oh, but we can't use state. I'm going to have to rename that. For loops are slow. Okay, let me try it then. I've never tried it before, so might as well try something new, right? So how would I do that? You want me to create a object, so not an array, just an object. Okay, so you want me to remove the array. It's a list of objects. A single object, which I'm gonna have the element IDs, and the value is the function that needs to be called. Okay. So break increment would be the key. And the value is the function. What function would we call though? Line 36? I'm just getting these out so long. How do we handle the fact that there's a hyphen in it? Because you can't have hyphens in the key value though, can you, Glenn? Hey, Sweltina. Oh, you can actually have it as a string. I forgot about that. You can? Are you sure that's valid? I didn't know you could actually do that. So the string, which then calls the function. Do you want me to just do set state, or should we just call... Should I just have an update state? Let's just have like update state. Line 32 is the same as line 36. Oh yeah, you're right. Don't worry, I'm still updating these. I'm just trying to figure out what Glenn was trying to do. Do you want the inline function? Do you want an arrow function in this? Like straight up? Probably want to wrap it in a function. Wait, so why not an arrow function? Can we do that? I think that's what you mean, right? And then we would call this dot set state. Is that what you mean? And then update like value. Is that what you mean? I just want to make sure before I continue. Also, actually, how am I gonna update state if it's outside of the class? See, this is why I'd normally just do what I know and learn from there, because right now I'm relying on you to kind of tell me what's up, which slows me down significantly. Albeit, hopefully I'll learn something new today. Because I would have literally just stuck it like I did here, have ID and state, and just update in a for loop, and it would be done. I would have been done by now. Okay, let me remove things while you're busy so long. So we have clear interval, we update state, that's to reset the timer, to stop the timer. We're clearing the interval and we set running state to false. Stopping the timer just, okay. We don't need to pad zeros anymore, so that's good. Initialize timer, reset timer. Go. I think I might need one for... At least I don't need one for stop timer. Glenn's working under pressure now. It's like, oh, shit, I gotta get this like out. What if it doesn't work? Hope this is gonna be a really stunning example, right? I'm waiting too. No pressure, Glenn. Just gonna, you know, twiddle my thumbs over here. You know what's pretty cool for Forgetful? I learnt about OR. What was it? Logical ORs today. I had no idea how they work. So check here, line 178, 179. Before, I would write this in a if-else, and today I wrote it in a ternary because, you know, ternary is more fancy. And then I just discovered, thanks to Glenn, that you can just do a logical OR. So what it does is, if this has a value, we can call this. If it doesn't have a value, we'll call this. And then this just does the rest of it. It was pretty insane. So that's going to save me a lot in the future. I'm sure you have them in C, don't you? Okay, you got your example. Good, give it to me. Logical operators is all you pretty much do? Is that all? You write your code, all of it is logical operators? Why is it so big? Okay. Oh, these are two values, right. So you have a handler. That's the function. Action A. Oh. Okay, I see what you've done here. Can't we use arrow functions? Why are we doing normal functions? Do we have to use normal functions? I could just use an arrow, right? And then you bind this specifically afterwards. Time crunch. Okay, where does that leave us? Man, change all of this. Okay, go. Wait, actually I'm gonna leave that in case I decide I don't like yours anymore. No, I'm just kidding. But you never know. Okay, so somewhere here. It's gonna be our handle change actually. That's essentially your handle change, isn't it? This dot handler. Oh no, that's your handler. You take the event. Okay, so never mind. I've got a handler event. Okay, so that's handle change, and then we need a handler. Weird name for it, huh? Mr. Kiev, how's it going? This dot handle change. Wait, no, it's not. It's this dot handler. So it's going to be a list of objects, right? If I remember correctly. So you got action A, so it's break increment, and that's going to call function, which is actually that's exactly what I was doing though. This dot set state. This dot state. Why do you have a comma there? You're using spread. I've never used that before. Why? How? My mind. What are you doing? And why are you doing it this way? Why is there a comma there? Okay. I would have just done it this way. This dot set state to whatever the value is. Oh, you get ID. ID is target.getAttribute ID. This.handler is ID. That's the key. Okay, I see what you're doing. This is not dynamic though. You'd have to specify it for each one. Mine would have been dynamic, but that's fine. So we do this.setState. So we know what break increment is. So we're basically choosing break length. So break length, and we're setting the value to this.state dot break length plus equal to 1. That's how I would do it. Huh. And I see you obviously have this over here, otherwise that wouldn't work. Okay, so something's broken now. I've got to figure out what's broken. And we obviously have to bind this.handler. Did you bind handler? Yeah, you did. Okay, but... oh, and the arrow function. My mind? Don't worry, my mind too. Yeah, you just want me to do that. So this.setState, break length. Why is that an issue all of a sudden? Oh, right. Because you've like completely mixed me up so much right now. There we go. That then needs to close that. And then that needs to close that. And then that closes that. So that would be fine, but now we're messing something. Hold on. So that's the entire object. Then, oh, you're missing a key, aren't you? That's going to be the first... Wait, what? Are you sure your syntax is correct? We're missing something. What are we missing? That's the key, that's the value. Oh, you need a comma here. But no, that's not the issue either. The stunning example! I want to use the arrow function! Am I missing something in the arrow function? Hold on. Because it's that. But this is not a function, that's the thing. This is a variable containing the objects. So it should be... No, it should be this. Have you not used arrow functions in yours, Glenn? Because it should have just been that. And then... You think I'm missing a bracket? I don't know, it doesn't seem to be. If you look, this opening one closes here. This one closes the state, that's contained, and then this one handles the overall objects. So this is the key. The value would be a function, which is that. But why is that an issue now? Oh, you're right, I'm missing a constructor. Where are we closing the constructor? We're not. I see what you mean, yeah. Good job, there you go. GG, problem solved. Okay, so we got break increment, and that's going to call break length, and it's going to increment it by 1. Let's move on to the next functionality, which is in the handler, you did what I did. So you got the target, you got the ID. We don't even need target and ID. We can just get ID, which is target.id. So we can do something like that, and then we're going to call this dot handlers. So this dot handlers, and we're going to pass in the ID, and that should theoretically be it, shouldn't it? Woo! What a mish. Hopefully that's it. So we're going to call this dot handlers. Hold on, my bad. Right. Oh, and then you're executing it. I see what you're doing. Smart. I've never did it this way before. I'm gonna have to really come back to this and... Okay. Let's see if break increment works. It's the only one that we've accounted for. This dot handler is undefined. Did we not... This dot handler equal to this dot handler dot bind this? Did you bind something else? Oh, and then you went and you bound. Then you have to bind this to the object as well. That's crazy. Are you sure this is the easiest way? Wait, why can't we bind... How do you manage to bind and I don't get to bind? Oh, you were binding the function. Okay, never mind. Sorry. I thought you were binding... Wait, what were you binding? You were binding this dot... You were binding the object. That's what I was doing though. Were you not? Never mind. I didn't notice. This is why you don't name things similar. It's handler versus handlers. Literally just an S. Okay, you were binding the event. Never mind. You were binding the function. Okay, so we had it fine all along. So break increment. This dot handlers is undefined. Where are we calling this dot handlers now? Oh, okay. Because yours is... Okay. Stop naming things so similarly. Do I have enough hand? I don't think so. It works! Yes! Well done. Okay, so now that we know it works, we can commit to doing the rest for the others. Good job. Wow. 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 Okay. So this one's break decrement, and it's just going to be minus equal to 1. Just make sure that that's all groovy. So we should be able to increase and decrease. Hey, look at that. Beautiful stuff. Amazing. Works wonderfully. Perfect. And we do the same for session. Well, increment. And session decrement, and we change session length. Okay, that should be it. We're done. Can my break be minus 100 minutes? I think we can arrange that. We just got to see what happens. You can't go negative, so we got to sort that out. Wait, why is increment decrement? Oh my god. Oh my god. Plus equal to 1 and minus equal to 1. Okay, so don't you think we have some repetition here? Break length and break length for the value, and calling this dot state and calling this dot set state each time. Do you not think it's better if we have why can't I think today? A method called update state, and then inside of it, it's got this dot set state. We'd still need to pass in the key and value, wouldn't we? So it'd kind of be, yeah, never mind. Is there no better way to do this? Well, it's better than my previous way, I'll give you that. A bit more complex to set up, but once it's working and you get, you know, the hands around it. I like it, thank you. So now that that's working, okay, here's the complexity that we're speaking about now, Glenn. We need to add a statement where so long as the value is, it can never be less than 1. So break length cannot be less than 1 and session length cannot be less than 1. Session length cannot be greater than 60, and I don't think there's a limit on break length. Here's the limits. Session or break length cannot be less than 0. And session or break length cannot be greater than 60. How do we do that? I mean, I could do an if statement, but imagine doing an if statement for each of these. Do you see where the complexity is going to ramp up now? Oh, you can add a min? Man, I've got so much to learn. Stop. You're too amazing, Glenn. Get out of my stream. Just showing me all the stuff that I could do. This is amazing. I'm gonna ask you how this works in a minute. Wait, before I even do it, let me understand it. So math.min 60. So 60 is the... What is the 60 there? Can you like explain that in English? So math.min, 60 is the first parameter. The second is math.max. Why is it the other way around? Wouldn't... Am I reading this wrong? I can't wait to get to your level, Glenn. 5 years you say, huh? 60 is less than 61. I still don't get it. Math.min, you're passing in 60. Isn't that specifying the minimum is going to be 60? And forgetful, the handler, does it only handle plus minus a random variable? That's correct, yes. The max, because any number less than 60 will be used instead of 60. Oh, is that like a placeholder? I still don't get it. Maybe if I type it out, I'll get it. So it's basically math.min 60, math.max 1, this.state.break.length. Okay, now that it's written out, how does that work? Math.min expects a parameter, returns the smaller of a set of supplied numeric numbers, right? Wait, so let's check in our console. Math.min 60 and 48, or 49. It returns 49, okay. So it's either going to return... Wait, so 60, it will either return 60 I'm confused. It's because you combined min and max. I could do one, but the combination is what's tripping me up. My inexperienced C mind is telling me to make a handler which just receives a reference to a variable to change and an integer value on how much to change the variable. One function, and you can place all your ifs, etc. in the one function, but I don't JS. In your head, run 70 through it. Okay, 70. So try max first. Math.max, 1, or the number. 70. So 70 is going to be the bigger one. Okay, now the minimum. 60. Oh! Or if this is less than 60. So it will either be 60. Thank you. That makes so much sense. So math.max 70. But now the next parameter is either 60 or 70 minimum. Which is the minimum? Obviously 60 is the minimum, so because that's the minimum, which ends up being our maximum, and holy shit, my brain just exploded. Amazing. Okay, we did the max. How do we do the minimum again? So 0. Start with max. 1 or 0. Which one's max? 1. 1 in min, 60 or 1? 1 is the minimum. Okay. That's how that works too. I hope I'll naturally pick up these things because that's amazing. There we go. So we should have min and maxes in now. Okay, can we go above the values? Let's find out. What happened? What just happened? That was weird. What the hell? What? Where'd my page go? It loads, and then we broke something. It broke. Hold on. Did I break something? I don't think I did I? It needs 3 opening and 3 closing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I didn't break anything here. I think CodePen just broke. So oh, never mind. It's fine. It's there. I don't know what it's doing. It's losing its mind. Okay, so increment. We're gonna go and we're gonna keep clicking. Ah, cookie clicker all over again, except I'm not getting rewarded for this. Can we go above 60? No, we can't. Yay! Now let's go all the freaking way down. Gotta go fast. Faster, faster, faster. Can't go below 1. Yes! And I can't believe I'm actually gonna be manually testing this. Things you do, huh? I know there's probably a more efficient way. There we go. Works. Look at that, session length. What if we decrement the session length? And then we hit start. Stop, it should do nothing. Start, stop, it should ignore it. Great. What if I reset? And I increase to 38. Start. 38. Oh, yes. Look at that, guys. And it's displaying perfectly. So beautiful. I'm gonna have to go grab dinner in a bit. I want to see if there's one quick thing we can just squeeze in before I go. This is amazing. So we did all of that, didn't we? Paused or running, the value in this field should always be displayed in minutes, minute, second, second format. Paused or running. paused or running. So when we start, oh, it's minutes, so 2. Okay, gonna have to pad that. So paused or running. I mean, it does always show, but we start with 0, 0, 0. So let's go and fix that so that it shows double zeros. So all we need to do for that is add another freaking thing and then string it and then pad and start and blah blah. Oh man, we just overly complicated that now. But I mean, at least we'll have 2 zeros. There we go. Okay, looking better. What else? I can see a clickable start stop. We can do that. When I click the element with the ID of reset, any running timer should be stopped. The value within ID break length should return to 5. Break length. So if I increase the break length and I start stop, does it return to 5? It does. And session length should return to 25, which I think we already tested, and it does. Yeah, it does. Cool. When I click the element with the ID of break decrement, the value within ID break length, yeah, so we've done all these decrementing stuff. We cannot go below 0 or above 60. When I first click the element with the ID start stop, the timer should begin running from the value currently displayed in session length. So if session length displays 25, it should start on 25, which it does. Great. If the timer is paused and I click the element with the ID start stop, the countdown should resume running from the point at which it was paused. 2450, does it resume from 2450? Yes, it does. Okay, we've passed that test. When a session countdown reaches 0, timer must reach 0, must, and a new countdown begins. The element with the ID of timer label should display a string indicating a break has begun. Okay, I think I'm going to add that logic tomorrow. When a session countdown reaches 0, must reach 0, a new break countdown should begin. Okay. When a break countdown reaches 0, note, a new countdown begins. The element with the ID of timer label should display a string indicating a session has begun. Okay, that's all the same logic. Oh my god. A new session countdown should begin counting down from the value currently displayed in... Oh, what? Okay. When a countdown reaches 0, a sound indicating the time is up should play. Hey, we can do that. I have a tag. I actually have the perfect one for this. I actually did this. What's the ID gonna be? It's gonna be beep. ID of beep. Beep beep, I'm a Jeep. Where do we put that in? Like... here? Audio? ID equal to... Was it literally beep or was it beep beep? Or was it just beep beep? Must be 1 second or longer. Source equal to... I had a source. Where did I put the source? I uploaded it somewhere. Where are we gonna upload this? I have a beep. Where did I get the beep? Ah! What are you guys saying? I think you must eat dinner and sleep. It sounds as if you're turning insane. Why do you need more brackets? The function call acts as those. Do you notice any... You guys are just mocking me right now. So mean. Let me go to my projects. Where's my projects? Where's my projects? Projects. Oh, that's not my projects. Coding. Okay, that's definitely not a code. Okay, there it is. JavaScript. Projects. Cooking timer. Assets. Media. What? I'm pretty sure I had a sound file for it there. Now I apparently don't. Do I have it in my downloads? It was annoying. It was like a freaking alarm. There it is. Here it is. Oh, amazing. So good. Yes. Deafen me. Oh god. It's quite long, isn't it? It's 20 seconds long. It needs to be at least a second. Should we like cut that down to 3 seconds? I'm wearing a headset. Serves you right. That's what you get. Virati, hey! What's up? Literal blood on the floor. What did you do? Did you murder a cat or something? Oh god, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to play it again, I swear. I'm gonna trim it to 3 seconds, okay? What was it called again? Loud alarm clock. More like freaking... Okay, I want to trim from 0 to 3. It's gonna be exactly 3 seconds long. Are we gonna have a fade in? I think we're gonna have a fade in and a fade out. How does that sound? Okay, let's test it. Doesn't sound like there's a fade in or a fade out, to be honest. Here we go. Have you figured out why that set state debug worked this way? No, I haven't. But I will... What do I call this now? I'm gonna call it time up, but where can I host it? Should I just host it on my website for now? And then like figure out where I'm gonna do it another time? Because I don't know where I can host audio files. Like I know where I can host like pictures and stuff. Try turning up the volume, maybe you hear the fade then. Okay guys, just give me a moment. Just give me a moment guys, I'm just gonna turn the volume up. Because our dear... Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a goat. It's a goat. Oh, that's a freaking incredible goat right there. Okay, you guys said I need to turn the audio up, right? Okay, just give me a moment, please. Is that better? Did you guys like that? I'm gonna lose all my followers now, aren't I? Is it over yet? I need to upload this somewhere. Where am I gonna upload it? I'm just gonna upload it here, screw it. Upload. There we go. Select the file. Boom boom. Time up. Okay, so it should be on my server now. Where did I stick it again? Delete time up.mp3. Hey, it's got a fade in and a fade out. Holy shit, that sounded cool. It might be a bit too short, but we don't care. That is so cool. Okay, so we're gonna set the source to that. Okay, and then we need to play the audio when the time is up. So when the time gets to 0, I think in my update time, I'll stop timer. So then we need to find the ID. So what do we call it? Audio? Audio element. I'm just going to call it time up. Equal to document.get element by ID. What was it again? Was it time up? What was the ID? The ID was beep. Well, if they're going to name it beep, I'm going to name mine time up. And then we just do time up.play. There we go. So now let's test if it works. Alright, so I checked you out and I go to bed. Have a good stream. Had a busy day today learning, working and healing my throat. I appreciate it, Veroni. Thank you so much for coming out even though you've been super busy. You can see my progress of what I've done here if you want to, before you go. Very simple. We got a little timer and I learned something new thanks to Glenn and a bit of some forgetful love. Doing this. I don't know what this is. It's a list of objects. So I've got the button's ID and it has a function attached to it which updates state with some magical maths here of math min and math max in a combination. I can't even explain it. It's too amazing. So yeah, let's go ahead and update time to like, I don't want to wait, so I'm gonna set time to like 5 seconds over here, and let's see what happens, and let's hope it plays. Okay, so start in 5 seconds. Oh my god, it's exciting. Is it gonna work? Hey! Again. You think it's a bit too short though? Like 3 seconds. Should we do 5 seconds? I think 5 is going to be a bit better, to be honest. So let me go and upload the 5-second version to my server. Let's reload the pen. Size doesn't matter. It so does matter though. That was too short for my liking. I like it long. Piercing. Amazing! If that doesn't signify you're done with working and you need to take a break, I don't know what is. Do we have something else there, like a goat, like bleating at you or something, or just like, stop working, it's time to relax? Or how about, you know, they're taking the hobbits to Isengard? How about that? I don't know. But it works. The whole point is it works. And Glend is being modest. Glend is pretty good at React. I mean, considering the fact that they just needed to help me understand a simple question, and they ended up writing an entire React app within like 2 to 3 minutes. Literally wrote this in 2 to 3 minutes. And it works. Not that I even tested it. Yeah, I'm gonna test it for you, Glend. There, do you feel better now? Oh, Glend hasn't seen it, so let me show Glend what the issue is. So Glend, when the component mounts, I set the default values, right? So I set the running to false, the task to session, all the default values. Then when I'm done with setting those values, I call this.debug. What this.debug does is literally just going to output what the values are in state. Is it running? What's the task? How many seconds? Now check what happens when you first load the page, right? After it sets those values, everything is undefined, which is the same values in state on initialization, but I'm calling it after it's done with all of this. So in theory it should show me those values. It doesn't. If I call this.debug from somewhere else, it does. And also it can't be that it's not setting the values, because I mean, how else is break length 5 and session length 25, etc. So it's clearly updating the values, but it's not showing me that value when I call debug. At least when I call it inside of component did mount. I think the reason I chose to have everything undefined and set values in component did mount is because if we encounter undefined, we have checks for that, so we know something went wrong and the app broke. So that way, if there are values, it means it correctly got initialized and mounted and whatever. That's just the way I went into it. You want to know what's funny though? If I call this.debug a second time, I think it works from what I remember testing last time. Oh, it doesn't get called a second time. That's weird. Oh, it does. It gets called a second time, but both times they're undefined. So I don't know how that works. Yeah, it doesn't update. It updates state though. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't update the render. Because state is updated. Look, everything is undefined. But the moment you load the page, there's values. If it didn't update it, these would all be undefined. So it's definitely updating state. But for whatever reason, my function call is not seeing these values. At least when called inside of component did mount. So let's call it somewhere else. If I call it in, let's say, I don't know where I can call it, to be honest. If we click the button, it obviously works. State forces a re-render. Component did mount fires off before the render, and set state initializes the re-render. Okay, so what does that tell us? Clearly this doesn't work, and I don't think they're going to go and fix this because it's clearly not an issue. So where could we stick this.debug to only see it once? All I want is for us to see debug once. And the reason I chose component did mount is because that only ever happens once, right? Can I throw a console log in render so I could see when it renders? Oh, to see if it happens before or after? Okay, so render happens first, then it calls the log inside of component did mount, and then it calls the second render. So here's the first render. Here's my function being called in component did mount. Here's the second render. Yeah, I saw that, Virani, inside of the docs. So how do we solve this problem? If I want to see the values of everything once everything is loaded, but only once, where would I stick it? Because I try to stick it in the return, but that would trigger it every time something changes, and I got like, I think, an infinite loop. I thought it would have worked in component did mount, which sucks. I mean, at update state, it just won't show the values. Define the state initial values in the constructor, but that defeats the purpose. That will work, I've tested that, but then that defeats the purpose of what I'm doing here. Then I might as well not set state in component did mount at all. Am I sending? Yes, it's a callback function, forgetful, because it's async. This dot set state is asynchronous. Oh, sorry, did you say argument? No, it's the callback function. And I mean, changing it to that or after doesn't change anything. Still the same. Try getting rid of the brackets. What brackets? You mean this? On the this.debug. The brackets? What brackets? Really? Hey, wow, my man Glenn. Look at this. Virani, he's just secretly so noble. Now you have to explain, Glenn. How does that work? Why does calling... I always get confused. This calls a function. This... How? How does that work? Sorry, Verani, you've been replaced now as second favorite. In all fairness, Verani, he's got like 5 years on us, so let's not feel bad. Ooh, Dollar Dreams? Did I miss saying goodnight? If you're still there, goodnight. Hope you have a good one. So, forces function to trigger immediately, if I'm correct. When it's encountered in the... Oh, so that means I try to call it immediately, and because it was empty, and this way if it's a callback function, it's only going to call it afterwards? You sent in the return value of this.debug, while without the bracket would send the function itself. Oh, so it's going to call the function when it's done, which is how it should have been done, right? But it can't be a callback, which is what I assume that's... Yeah, it is. Exactly. Yeah, because Verani wanted me to stick it in a callback, but I think we forgot about the brackets. So if I did this.debug without that, and I just had it here, that wouldn't work, would it? What would happen then if I did it this way? Let's find out. Oh, you get nothing. Oh, so the only reason this would have worked is because it's a callback function. It never gets called. That's... Wow. Verani, I hope you learned as much as I did today. This is amazing. So that calls that function as a callback function. Amazing. Yeah, it never gets called because nothing is calling it, Verani. The only reason it's getting called there is because... this.state can call another function when it's done doing whatever it's doing as a callback. And then we give that function without the brackets and then it calls it when it's done. That's really cool. Wow, so much stuff learned today. Verani, did you know about logical operators, by the way? Check how cool this stuff is. Instead of, I was trying to use ternary operators. So I can pass in this.state.seconds. If it's undefined, it will use 0. Modulo 60 toString pad start to 0. So it will either use this.state.seconds or 0. If this is undefined, if this doesn't have a value, if it's not true, otherwise 0. It's so cool. Glenn, you said that I had too many brackets here that I could remove them. Which ones were you referring to? Can we make this a bit neater because now it looks like a hot mess. Forgetful view. Fulisak? How do you say forgetful? Lisak, right? Forgetfully sack? Thank you so much. Forgetful Isaac. Ah, of course, I can't read. You could try getting rid of the new lines. Oh no, it does add them. It's just because of the line length. That's not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is you said I had too many brackets here. Do I still have too many? Okay. Well, the compiler is going to do its thing. Which is fine. What about my very welcome? Said thank you. Let's add the www to my domain. Look at me with my own little domain. Have my little time up. I need to figure out where to host this. Where would I host this, guys? If I'm not uploading to GitHub, where can I add Where would you guys add audio files? Because I know about hosts, you know, like Imager. Well, I can't really use Imager anymore because Imager blocked CodePen. Feels bad, man. So I use ImageBB. But where can we upload audio files? Oof, Virani, 6 AM. Dude, get some much deserved sleep. Thank you so much for all your help. And I'm glad we learned something new. Have a good one. I just gotta figure out where to upload non-image files to, and then I'll be golden. I don't want to use Dropbox because the last time I did that I went over my limit because thousands of people decided to hammer away at the link that I shared. Data Yuri? Really? You can do that? No, that's when you use binary, right? To like make up the file. No ways. So you're saying we can, but won't that like make the file size exponentially larger? As large as the file itself? But you don't have to host it. That's true. How would I do that? How do I convert my file to Yuri? Is there like a tool that I have to use? It's base 64 that I need, right? Hold on, I'm working on something. Just tell me how to render it. That's what I need to know. Okay, so I got my Yuri. But what do I do with it? Here it is. What do I do with the data? Audio MPEG base 64. Is that the source? Do I put that in the source or not really? I'm guessing it's not the source, is it? How long is this freaking thing? Wow! It's amazing the things that you can do. It's even too long. Can't even process it. I stick it in the source. Is that what you said? Yep to that. But the problem is I think it's too long, look. Because it kind of messed up my source. It became tokenized. Oh no. What do we do? What now? Try running it. Just like this? Okay. Let's just update the time. Holy shit, it's long. Holy shit, it is long. Oh my god. So it's base 64 of the... oh my god. You're a mad lad. You're a mad lad. Where is it again? There. Okay, let's go, let's try. Start. No. No ways. No ways. You can actually embed. What the fuck? It's all just data. It's all just ones and zeros. How crazy is that? Only problem is, how do I even see this anymore? Like, my code editor won't show me past... You know what I mean? So... Did I put it somewhere else? Or should I just leave it like that? Because I physically can't go to the end. And also I can't see where the end of the thing is. You know what I mean? It works, it's just... Yeah. So just leave it like that? Then I don't have to host it. That's pretty smart. But then it means the file size grows a bit bigger, based on however large the data is. And now I understand why, because all the bytes. How crazy is it that these bunch of letters and numbers, the alphanumerics, make up that sound? How? How? My mind! I need to understand lower level. Could always stick it in a variable. The problem is I still won't be able to see it, you know what I mean, due to the truncation. Can't say that word. And then if you try to view the source, it will be right at the top. Because look already what's happening. Look at this. Look how much of this source file is just the audio. At this point I feel it'll be easier to source. Oh my god. I feel at this point it would be easier to just upload it somewhere. The poor person that tries to view the source code of this. Oh my god. Hey, it ends with a lot of V's. Whew, okay. No, it's like really smart. I do like it, means you don't have to host it. Best kind of codification. I agree, right? Just encode everything. I would have this in another file. Then you don't have to worry about this. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this. I think. I don't know. I'll make up my mind tomorrow. I just gotta figure out where to host it. If you guys like know a place where you can host files, let me know. Because if I use GitHub, but I don't plan on uploading it to GitHub. I mean, maybe I will at some point. But if I upload it to GitHub, it wouldn't be an issue, you know? The files would be in the local project folder. But, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it on my server. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. Okay, so what does this do? You just don't want me to go eat. And why am I trusting you? Oh my god. No! I'm not gonna click it. Found evidence of FW. What is FW? Are you gonna go through my like entire collection of stash stuff? I wanna click it. Scared. Scared to click it. Mama warned me about clicking things from random strangers. My god. This is horrible. I can't look at this. Let's what is this? That's better. Ah. You know that? No, I did not. I literally thought you just shared a code pen type vibe. I didn't realize your entire project is here. That's pretty cool. Okay, so you're calling index.js. So tell me, you know when I want to run React on a normal non-framework, just like straight up HTML5 page, I had to end up running it through Babel's like converter and get the like non-ES code and then chuck that into the JS file. How would I do it normally? Like apparently you can use Webpack and all those things. I haven't like set that up, but is there a better way? Is that the only way? You have to use like, because I tried using, what was it, Transformer? The JSX Transformer, but that just literally did nothing. I had to like transpile the code. Click me! Why does the color keep changing? I'm scared. What is going on? What is the point of this? I don't know. Are you like mining? And this is a framework? Huh. CSX. Oh, did I miss something now? Hold on. I closed it. Wait, what? Component? Oh, you mean these things. Oh, so this is the... What is TSX? Wait, that's TypeScript, right? So this is the original TypeScript. Oh, and then this got converted into... How did you do this automatically? How did this get converted? Did you just use one of those NPM packages that does it for you? I'm using a gulp script. There's so much I gotta learn. But how do you automatically convert it? You write in TypeScript or React or whatever. How do you get the distributable file that you need? Because that's what confused the hell out of me. I ended up just using the Babel, their online converter. I just stuck my React into there, and I got the thingy version back. I can't remember where it was. It was online. Is there Babel? Where was it? Oh, the repel, this one. So I stuck my React code into here. And then you can see this is my previous React code. And then it gave me the distributable version that I needed. Look in the JS folder. In this JS folder. Yeah, how do you do that is what I'm saying. Because that's what I want to do. To get it automatic. I probably have to check some guides up, don't I? You could change it back to TypeScript. If it was TypeScript. So ES 2015. Or if I wanted ES 2017. ES27 supports classes at least. Does 2016 support classes? Yeah, it does. Syntactic sugar. Oh, you can minify it too? Minify it, go! Why aren't you minifying? Whatever. So I use a TypeScript compiler to make those files and roll up in Google Closure compiler for packing to files. Okay. Well, I'm sure I'll get there at some point. At least for now, I've got this website. Stick your React in here. Get your JavaScript out. Thanks to Babel. Because apparently Transformer, the JSX Transformer is being phased out in favor of Babel, from what I read. But there's an automatic way to do this. So I'm like, for one project, for one single file, it's fine, you know? Yeah, I know about Create React App. I set one up. It's just a mission each time, waiting 15 minutes to wait for it to create a new one. Is there an easy way if I want to just do multiple apps? Because having to wait 15 minutes for it to do everything, download everything, was like what put me off. That's why I'm like doing single files in CodePen now and just writing in VS. Because I had a Create React App set up. Stackblitz, right. Alright. Well, thanks for the help, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that came out. You guys are absolutely incredible. Glenda, it was really good seeing you again after all this time. And Forgetful Isaac. We shall not, you know, mention the spelling of Forgetful there. But you were much appreciated. It was great to have you out. And everyone else that's here, all the lurkers that don't say anything, you guys are much appreciated as well. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna call it a night. I had a lot of fun. We have made so much progress. The majority of the functionality is done. Actually, I want to see how far we are if we run the tests. We are passing 20. Are we gonna pass more? We are passing 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 20, oh no, how did it go from 26 to 13? Oh, feels bad, man. We'll sort that out tomorrow. But we either passed 26 of 29 or 13, but it doesn't matter. Oh, we can sort that out. Yeah, these are simple things to sort out. Yeah, I know it's 5 seconds. I gotta undo that. That was part of the test. I'm gonna leave that on there. But now I know how to do the URI as well, which is super useful, at least for images. Oh wait, why do I have the stack blitz? There we go. Cool. Well, I'm gonna end things off here for now. Don't mean to brag, but I was instrumental in this project. Of course you were, Forgetful Isaac. Who shall not be forgotten. We couldn't have done it without you. Look how amazing this all looks now. No breaks for anyone. Work for 35 minutes at a time. I would have personally had an input field here that you can edit, but they want buttons. Like, who is gonna freaking click? Like, I would just not use this thing. So what I'm gonna do as part of my own little initiative, when you click here, it's going to be editable, and you're going to be able to edit whatever is in here at a click. I mean, you can still use the buttons if you're a masochist, you know, but we're going to have editable fields, and it's just going to be amazing. It's going to be so good. Own initiative? Well, I mean, it's not part of the requirements, and I just cannot in good faith leave things in this state. Imagine you wanted to get to 60. You would have to freaking click literally 35 times. Literally 35 times. Okay, guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Sometime. Near a similar time to this. I don't have a actual routine, but I try to commit to it, and we do it at least for an hour every day. I haven't failed since. Forgetful Isaac, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it.
Forgetful Isaac is following the family.
Oh my god, she can even say it correctly. So I was just the one that couldn't read. Forgetful Isaac. Alright guys. Till the next one. Stay awesome. Much love. And bye for now.